Good morning, 7th graders. So I would just wanted to sort of go over what you guys have going on and what needs to be done so that you can be on the right track with this as we get started with this program. So I can't remember exactly what's due today, but I showed you the gradebook view yesterday. There's also, if you go to your homepage, I'll show you this probably when we do our live lessons, but if you go to your homepage and then click on calendar, it'll show you what's due each day. So that's another way to do it. But basically, what's due by the end of the day tomorrow is all of section 1. That's the section where you set goals, talk about your strengths and weaknesses, all that. So that's all due tomorrow. And then we also have adding and subtracting decimals. 2.1 is due tomorrow as well. The actual graded thing from the adding and subtracting decimals, I believe there are two. I believe there are two actually. There's a quick check at the end. I'm looking at the other computer to sort of see. There's a quick check at the end, and I think there was one other thing. I can't remember exactly. So when you do 2.1, you'll go through all of those reading assignments. There are a lot of practice questions in there that you'll just do on your own on paper just to practice and make sure you understand it. And then at the end, there's the quick check. So by the end of the day tomorrow, you should be done with 2.1, hopefully. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and delete this. And what basically 2.1 is about is we're going to look at problems like, let me pull up one of the actual example problems that they give you at one point. Okay, so here's one of the example problems. I'm going to change it a little because I think it's too basic. So it's 1.3, I'm just taking out a 0 is the only thing I'm changing, plus 3.87. Sorry about the writing on the screen. Not great, but that's okay. I'm going to change colors here. So the point of this is when you add or subtract decimals, you always have to line up your decimal places. So I have a decimal here and a decimal there. So I'm going to put the 1.3 and then plus, and that decimal here has to be lined up with the other decimal. For most of you, this shouldn't be very new information. You've been doing this, but I line up my decimals like that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to add a placeholder 0 to hold this spot so that I can see what the 7 is being added with. It's being added with a 0. And then we'll just add. 0 plus 7 is 7. 3 plus 8 is 11. Carry the 1, put the other one here. 3 plus 1 is 4, plus that 1 that we carried makes 5. And I'm going to bring my decimal straight down. So the sum of 1.3 plus 3.87 is 5.17. So I typed in one of the word problems from the examples. This is not one from the graded stuff. It's when you're in your lesson on decimals, on adding and subtracting decimals, it takes you to a link. One of the pages takes you to several practice problems, and this is one of them. I'd recommend you do those because that's how you're going to get better. If you just go through and do the assessments and all the graded things, I mean, you might get a good grade. I don't know, but actually practicing these is what's going to help you improve. And when you get to any major assessments or anything like that, I think doing this stuff will help. But you also see what you're confused about, and you'll know what kind of questions to ask me. So this question came from those. I copied it exactly. So unless the thing randomly generates, I'm not sure if it does, you should see this exact problem later. So it says you saved $21.21. Oh, gosh, it is not exact. Let's fix that. Okay. I think I just typed that 21 twice. I believe it should be. Can I delete it? Delete. I'm not sure what is going on. Oh, there we go. Okay. It's $21.10. And everything else looks right. Okay. We fixed it. So you save $21.10. You go to the movies with your friends and spend spend $8.28 for your ticket and $6.75 on snacks. How much money do you have left? So the first thing I notice in a problem like this is I want to know what the total I spent was. So what I'm looking for first is what we spent. Well, I went to the movies with my friends and the ticket cost that much, $8.28. And then I spent this much more on snacks. I know the total two things I need to add. I need to add up the two parts that I spent, and that'll be the total. So I'm just going to line up my decimals, which isn't hard since they have the same number of places. And I'm going to add up these two numbers first. Let's do blue again. All right. 8 plus 5 is 13. Sorry about that one, looked a little rough. 1, 3. 7 plus 2 makes 9, plus the 1 that we carried makes 10. So we carry a 1, put a 0 there. I'm going to bring my decimal straight down when I add. You're going to notice it's different when we multiply, but straight down when you add. And then we have 8 plus 6 is 14, plus that 1 makes 15. So we spent $15.03. That's how much we spent at the theater. Now I need to figure out how much money we have left. So I can tell that we started with this much, $21.10. We spent this much. So to figure out how much you have left after you spent, you always would subtract. So I'm going to take my $21.10, and I'm taking away the amount that I spent, and that should give me what I have left. Switch back to let's do green this time. Okay. So I can't take away 3 from 0, so what I'm going to have to do is borrow from this 1. That 1's going to become 0, and I'm going to carry that. I'm going to move that value over, and that'll be a 10. 10 minus 3 is 7. 0 minus 0 is 0. When I subtract or add, I bring my decimal straight down. I can't take 5 away from 1, so I'm going to have to do the same thing again. At 11. If you're really confused about that part of the process, let me know. I can try to help you, but I'm not taking a lot of time on that because that does go back pretty far into your schooling. So, all right, 11 minus 5 is 6, right? And then 1 minus 1 is 0. So we have $6.07 left. Now, on the practice you have, all you have to do is fill in the blank. You'll put 6.07. If you were actually answering this, since it's a word problem, it would be a good idea to type something like, I would have $6.77 left, like in a sentence. It's always good. So that's the decimal stuff. That's what you're doing. Let me know if you have any other questions, but you're going to go through the lessons, read everything, do the practice problems they give you. It should take a bit of time. Like this, if you're done with all of section 1, you should go ahead and start adding, subtracting decimals because it may take a couple of days to get through all that and then to do the 2 graded things at the end. Let me know what you need help with, what questions you have. Thanks.